Strange New Worlds, the finale. We have a review after this, and spoilers. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and I have to say that A Quality of Mercy, the last episode of this season of Strange New Worlds, did something that I would not have expected. They do a what if episode, and if I haven't told you already, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it before you see this video, because I don't think there's any way I can't spoil it in order to tell you what I'm thinking about this. Okay, you're back? Well, what we have here is a situation where Pike is at the neutral zone, the Romulan neutral zone, and they are dealing with some upgrades to equipment, monitoring equipment, and things such as that in various outposts that are lining the Federation side of the neutral zone. Pike finds that the son of one of the outpost commanders is going to be a cadet, and one of the ones that he's not able to save at this 7-year hence disaster that we all know that's going to happen to him. He takes a notion to go and write a letter to this kid saying, either don't join Starfleet or don't go to this particular place where this accident is going to happen that maims Pike and kills 2 cadets. However, as Pike is writing the letter, he sees his future self, which he first, of course, doesn't believe, but is led to believe that this is, in fact, someone who has also come from this Klingon planet that had the time crystals, where he can get a sneak peek into his future life if he is able to avoid this terrible accident that he's due to be in. He is capable of changing history, but and has entertained the notion. This has been kind of teased in all of the previous episodes, or many of the previous episodes of this season. But when it comes down to it, he has not exactly accepted his fate until this episode, and the reasoning is quite good. The thing that I want to point out, though, is in sending him to a future time to see what happens if his accident doesn't happen, and they push him like 6 months after this accident would have happened. They are actually redoing, almost shot for shot, Balance of Terror, which was a TOS program. And now his future self tells him that under his command, it could be galaxy-wide disaster, and under whoever would take over the Enterprise from him after this, which we know to be Kirk, it would avoid this disaster. And so he is thrust forward and finds himself in the Enterprise chapel saying the exact words that Kirk said to the same 2 crewmen who were getting married on that day. And of course, as soon as the introductory remarks are made, there's a red alert and everybody is sent to general quarters. Now, some of the lines are the same by Spock, in this case, we have Ortegas doing some of the more accusatory remarks that were done in the original series towards Spock. Spock's reaction to it was the same. Everything was pretty much the same except updated special effects and inserting the newer characters into the plot. But the outcome, of course, was different. And this convinces Pike that he does need to just go straight to his destiny, not try to avoid it. And I'm very impressed by all of this. The camera work, the lighting was very close to what the original series had. Imagine if you were to take the original series, give them 21st century special effects and set designs and cinematic advances, and do that episode over again. It would look somewhat like this. And they introduce Kirk, which was kind of a surprise. They had announced that he was going to be in the second season, but actually they brought him in a little bit early. He was in command of another starship and is aiding Pike somewhat, or actually kind of holding Pike up to himself, of saying that he is a different kind of captain that is called for in this situation. Ultimately, they respect each other, and it's a decent story. But the interest part of it were just how many Easter eggs were in it. Some exact dialogue is exchanged. Some scene by scene of the Romulan bird of prey. The conversation between the captain and the Romulan commander, the commander. And of course, they added some other elements into it as well, and gave a very good show in that they weren't going to try to say that Pike was every bit as good as James Kirk. In fact, in canon, Kirk is a singular kind of commander. He does not always follow the rules. He does not always rule by his head as much as by his instinct, and very often that is his strength. That in the early episodes of the original series where he's playing chess with Spock, he always beats Spock at chess, even though Spock plays a very intellectual game. Kirk does not. And by doing so, it says something about not only the intellect of the Kirk character, but also the unpredictability of him, which is an advantage throughout the series and throughout the movies. I like this, that what they were really doing was separating Pike and Kirk in the same way that they separated Kirk and Picard. Picard being much more cerebral, if you will, and Pike being much more of a family guy when it comes down to it. He didn't have a family, but certainly he treated his crew like a family, where Kirk was considerably more formal with most of them. And that's a contrast that's notable here. There was a twist, of course, at the end, and we don't know what's going to happen to number one. We suspect that they will find some way to exonerate her or put her in a different capacity in the show. But if you wanted to know how a non-serial type of episodic adventure can be can have a cliffhanger, well, this is it. And that's by putting one of their main characters in some kind of jeopardy. And they do this in a couple of ways, in that we don't really know what's going to happen to La'an, who left in the previous episode. We don't know what's going to happen to number one, who leaves in this one. And we probably have a year until we're going to find out about it. But otherwise, it might be a good idea to look back over the original series episode, Balance of Terror, and see how much they must have studied that in order to make this episode. It makes me like Pike even better. It gives me a new appreciation for Kirk, and I do like the actor that's playing him. This explains more about why Spock was so loyal to Pike when the Menagerie episode came about. This is all kind of filling in the blanks that we've had all these years as to what happened between Pike and Kirk, and did they know each other, and how was one influenced by the other, and how was Spock influenced by them both. And I think it was a good episode for that, and a good way to sign out the season of Strange New Worlds. I'd like to know what you think about it, and there were a lot of good lines in there too. I'm not going to go over them, but it's worth another watch just to catch some of the clever lines that they placed in here. My favorite, of course, was Spock tells Pike that he's indebted to him, but he doesn't know exactly for what, and obviously will not know about this, at least for some time. So I'd like to know what you think about this episode. Please put it in the comments below. And of course, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because we want you to. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it doesn't make you have to go to meetings. It doesn't make you have to wear funny hats. It doesn't make you have to do anything other than just let us know that you'd like to see the next video coming your way. And to make sure that you do, if you ring the bell, that'll also signal you when the next Oldest Nerd video comes your way. So I thank you for watching, and until next time, don't go far.